Hello everybody, my name is Svetoslav and today I would like to share with you how does physical activity affects vision improvement. How do various blocks and clamps in the body deteriorate eyesight? The uneven activity of the hemispheres of our brain causes amblyopia, lazy eye. How to synchronize the hemispheres of the brain? What if vision gets a little blurry after exercises? Why is it necessary to stay active for eyesight? In general, any action that you do, you first visually evaluate. That is dependent on what you see. Let's start with some very simple things. Vision is given to us for a quality, good and happy life. For example, you look around. If you see cars, you understand this and do not cross the road. You mobilize a certain muscle function and you step back. If you saw the things you need on the shelf in the supermarket, you just go and take it. Our body gets certain dynamics, and of course any actions that we see will be reflected in our body. If this is something alarming for us, we tense, and the other hand we tense and mobilize. Then it's reflected in our eyes. Since the muscle of the eyes, as the muscle of the face, for example, procerus, between the eyebrows, tense very quickly at the slightest discomfort, and this is bad for vision, because any stressful situation can put our eyes under pressure. Why do we need to get rid of various clamps and stagnations? Various clamps in the neck, legs, in the hips, in the shoulders, somewhere else, will always be reflected in the eyes. The very first and one of the basic skills is to learn to relax completely with your whole body. Relax and not only relax your eyes, but to be able to relax completely. Second, for the eyes to work actively, they require a lot of blood, oxygen, electrical impulses. Because it's very complex biochemistry, it must be supplied by our body. And for this, the body itself must be active. If we are not active, the blood flows motionless, the metabolism is slowed down, toxins can stay in the capillaries and accumulate, and this impairs vision. If the eyes don't have enough blood, there is not enough oxygen and the metabolism is slowed down in the eyes. These cells will get older, faster and resume more slowly. Weak cells of the eyes and retina, how they can work? How eyes can see well if eye cells are weak and sluggish? They will also see weakly and not clear. How active we are, how active our vitality, and at the same time not overtrained and relaxed, depending on how we can see. Any physiological, psychological problems of our body can be reflected in our eyes. Many physiological problems appear in a person only because he has some kind of problems with the visual system. Some necessary impulse doesn't pass into our body, and some failures can occur in our body. The uneven activity of the hemisphere of our brain causes a lazy eye. I have already said in previous video that if the hemispheres of the brain are not harmonized and one works more than the other, in most cases it does. The right-handed person, left hemisphere, is more developed, while the left-handed person, on the contrary, the right one is more developed. A poorly developed hemisphere of the brain doesn't give a normal impulse command for our body, and the weaker hemispheres make a weaker leg, which make a smaller step, and a kind of a circle turns out. The leg seems to be normal and the eye are normal, but some kind of weakness has already turned out. If the hemispheres work unevenly, they are not harmonized, one hemisphere works more intensively than accordingly. One eye will also work more intensively, and the other one less intensively. Lazy eye and failure can occur in our body. Accordingly, muscle activity will be uneven. How to synchronize the hemispheres of the brain? If we do even simple exercise to synchronize the hemispheres, signals to the brain, a nerve impulse mobilizes our brain and our brain becomes active. And our active brain can actively control the eyes. If we do not move, then the nervous system doesn't mobilize our brain respectively. The neural connections are weak, the cells are sluggish. And where do they get strange? Sluggish and weak brain cells weakly affect our eyes. In the opposite direction, you will do several active movements. The blood flow began to move. Our brain zones actively work and our eyesight immediately become better. What if vision gets a little blurry after exercises? Sometimes for some people, on the contrary. For a certain time, especially after eye gymnastic, eyesight becomes more blurred. This can happen also. Why? The vision becomes more blurred, and this happens because the visual system is not ready for heavy loads. For example, you give it more oxygen and the activity increased, but the visual system doesn't handle it. What does this mean? It means that you need to prepare your eyes. If you did any active movements with your eyes, gymnastics for the eyes, your picture immediately become clearer and brighter. But if you did the exercises and your picture become blurred, then this indicates that your visual system, your eyes, doesn't ready for the activity. Conclusion is very simple idea that any problems in our body will always be associated with our vision. And if you want to restore your vision, the body needs first, it's necessary to stay active and blood circulation will be improved. The veins work well, oxygen is supply, metabolism is good, slack is removed from the cells. Second, give good quality rest after exercises. Third, remove muscle spasm, clamps, relax them, remove tension from the body. Relief of overexertion in our body will definitely lead to clear vision. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, hit likes, and we'll see you in the next videos.